So I just had a little bit of a crying spell, and y'all, my hormones are all over the place right now. But I'm gonna tell you, I had a bit of an epiphany that brought me out of this crying spell, and I wanted to share it in case it could help someone else. Here's the deal. I want to talk about perfectionism, okay? Because we know there is no such thing as perfect. The only perfect person that ever walked on this earth was Jesus. And the whole reason he came was because we're not perfect. We can't be perfect. And that's why we need him. Because he was the perfection that stood in the place for us when we couldn't meet that standard, right? So here's, we, in the spiritual world, y'all, I'm trying to make this make sense to y'all the way it made sense in my head. We're not perfect. So why do I have a hard time with myself not being perfect in the earthly realm? Like in the spiritual realm, I know I'm going to mess up. I'm going to sin. I'm going to have bad thoughts. I'm going to accidentally say a word I ought not say. I'm going to have these moments of weakness. I'm going to not be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect, right? Then why do I think for some reason I need to be the perfect wife, the perfect homemaker? Now, I'm not. Let me get that straight right now. But I get so upset with myself because I need to work on this. I got to get better at this. I got to get better at this. I got to be a better homemaker. I got to be a better organizer. I've got to do better at this and that. I got to be a better parent. I got to be a better cook, a better wife, a better everything. Constantly. Like, always feeling like I've got to be better. I've got to be better. I've got to do it. Have to, and again, I fall far shorter than most people when it comes to things like, being a good housewife, organizer, cleaner, and stuff like that. Because my brain was made different, even though that's no excuse. It is an explanation. And so whenever I say I'm always trying to do better, I am like a little hamster on a hamster wheel. Like everybody else is just like moving forward, and I'm just sitting here. And I've got to go 10 times harder to make a tenth of the progress. And so I know how flawed I am. But why do I think I have to be better? Because this whole time I'm working to be better, it's like I am not accepting the fact that it's okay for me to not be perfect. It's okay for me not even to be that good. Like I do my best. And I work at that. And sometimes, obviously a lot of times my best isn't good enough, but there's always room for improvement. But I was getting so down on myself about not being the best. And it's okay if I don't constantly work at something, some flaw, some failure, because I'm telling you, it's not fun living a life that's constantly focused on your failures and how you need to do better because you're not good enough. So, y'all, this is the epiphany that actually brought me out of the crying spell. I promise. But I was just like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's okay to just be, I'm sorry. It's okay just to be the way I am. It's okay to be bad at something. It just happens. I'm good at a lot of stuff. I'm really good at a lot of stuff that a lot of people aren't that good at. But homemaking is not one of them. I say homemaking, housekeeping. is not one of them. And so I feel like I need to not focus on the things that I'm bad at, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm good at. And I'm not perfect at them either, but I'm good, and I'm really good at some things. And so I just hope this encourages you if you're struggling. I don't know why my voice went up like that, y'all. But I just want to share this with you, that it's okay to not be good at something, and it's okay sometimes not to work on it. It's okay to accept your imperfections, or what do you even call that? Like those things that you're not good at. I'm not good at fixing cars. The only difference is I'm a girl, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and with that comes certain expectations. And I'm not gonna say I'm not working on those. But what I am saying is it's okay to not be good at stuff. And it's okay to just be, you know? Like, we're human beings, we're not human doings. We're human beings. And sometimes it's okay just to be not good at something and not see it as a character flaw. It's not a character flaw that I can't fix cars. It's not a character flaw that I'm not a strong swimmer. It's not a character flaw that I'm not good at whatever, that I'm not good at climbing trees. I used to be. But it's not a character flaw it's just who I am. And so I have to find a way to move forward in a way that works for me. But just because what works for everybody else doesn't work for me doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. And I hope that whether you are disabled, depressed, neurodivergent, or anything else, you understand. And if you're a Christian, we're not perfect. We all have failures. We all have failings. A lot of the people that God used, they had some really big problems and character flaws. Some of them had some serious character flaws. But God used them anyway, despite their imperfections. And God will use us despite our imperfections. And so stop focusing on the things that you don't do well. I don't want to just say focus on the things you do well, because sometimes God will use those weaknesses to move, his kingdom forward. And so I just, God is sovereign, and I don't want to, I always kind of tiptoe around what I'm saying to make sure I'm not saying anything inaccurate. But what I do want you to know is, you're not perfect. So be nice to yourself, and understand that you don't constantly have to keep working on yourself. It's okay to not work on being a better fill in the blank. Okay? At least sometimes, there are areas that we all need to work on, but sometimes it's okay to just be and be not that good at something. So on that note, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.